Hi, everyone. We're back here for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week, we're talking about dues, fees, the cost of what it takes to do this thing we love so much called drum corps. So we'll find out what made Austin say.
That was the thing. It was always kind of like a competition. Who could walk the slowest to retreat? That was always a thing.
And what made Jeremy say.
It's so exciting. There's so many videos on YouTube. It feels like I'm brand new to the activity again. First time getting to catch corps live. It's so exciting.
Right? All that and more. So go ahead and get out on the field, and we'll see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Nicole Younger. Today we're talking drum corps fees, dues, and the resources performers have to help them raise the money that they need for tour. We're also going to tech a little bit into how things have changed since we've marched and now. So with no further ado, let's go to the sidelines and talk to everyone. Let's see. We have Ashlee.
Hey.
How you doing? Hey.
It's good. It's been busy.
Have you been doing twirling competitions?
Yes, I am judging every single weekend of May. It's the season isn't done until like mid-July, so pretty much the only off season of twirling is the month of August. And then everything starts back up again in September.
Do you get a break?
No! Never! Never, ever!
So I was just wondering about that because I'm just like, you keep going all the time, but we will get more into that as we go along. Next we have Austin. Hey, Austin, how you going?
Hello. I'm doing great.
Good. So are you still on the high from the winter season with the Winds group?
I'm going to come down just a little bit. It's been fun. I'm already kind of making plans for 2025 and trying to set my fall schedule and everything. That's kind of what I've been up to. And most importantly, I have been relaxing.
Yes.
Taking the break. The month of May is my break. And I will be taking it. That's how I do it.
That's awesome. Okay. And now, just to let you all know, Trish, who is also on today, is producing our show. So, Trish, how's this producing life treating you?
I don't know.
She's finding out all the things. Okay. Good answer. And we also have Jeremy here. Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, everyone. It's great to be back.
How excited are you for drum corps?
You know, this year's gone by really fast, but the end of June can't come soon enough. I'm just so excited for this season. Last year was awesome. I'm so hyped for this year.
We have a lot. Yeah, we have a lot that we're going to be going into and talking about as far as shows go, but that won't be for another month, I'm pretty sure. So I have a question for everyone. How much did you pay for your dues when you went and on tour?
So I didn't actually march DCI. I only did DCA.
Okay.
So our dues weren't, I don't even think they were above $1,000 for the whole season.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, for some people that is a lot of money. I mean, it still is a lot of money, but I mean, for only doing weekends from, I don't know, at like end of WGI to Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal. It's
a
pretty sweet deal. So I'd say it wasn't too bad for me personally.
That's fair. That's fair. Jeremy, what about you?
Yeah, when I started marching back in 2016, it was right around $3,000, $3,500. And since then, it just seems to have really inflated a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's so much. That is so much. What about you, Austin?
Yeah. So my 3 years at the Troopers, I only paid, I think the most I ever paid was $3,200, which was 2016 to 2018. I got a couple vet discounts as I kept going on. But the vet discounts kind of offset the increase in cost, so it kind of stuck around that like low 3,000s mark. And then I went and filled a hole at cadets in 2019, and I didn't pay a dime, which was pretty awesome.
That is
Was I
very cool.
supposed to? Maybe, but we're not going to talk about that.
It's okay. Well, I mean,
Too late now.
right.
A little bit too late.
Too
now,
late
yeah.
now.
I promise you, I'm not the reason that all went down the way that it did, but
Oh,
I may have contributed.
If you were the reason why, that's a whole other episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I can't even put any words to that. Okay, Trish, what about you? Do you remember?
Oh, wow. Okay. I like Ashlee also did DCA, and my tour fees were kind of a touchy subject right now because I was in the Bushwhackers first, and that was pretty affordable for that time for mid 90s or whatever. But then after that, I was a Syracuse Brigadier during the time when the Syracuse Brigadiers had a ton of money, so it was incredibly low. I mean, that's a whole that's another episode. That's another episode about what some of the stuff that went on up there. But I could say from personal experience, contrary to popular belief out there, let's squash the rumors right here. I was not paid to be a Syracuse Brigadier. That rumor was out there. They did make it very easy. I will say this: they did make it very easy for people from out of town to deal with the commuting expenses, and we'll leave it there. But it was, I was I was in the right place at the right time. As when I stopped marching in 2005, and then they continued for another few years. I know it was more than what I paid, but still not nearly what everybody else is paying either then or now. So.
Right. Okay. Well, I know before I aged out, I marched in a drum corps where it was $2,600. Now, I will tell you, 1996 is when it was $2,300. That's a lot of money. And then when I aged out, which was in 99, I only paid $150. And that's because my drum corps had, well, first of all, I'm upstate New York. My drum corps had its own bingo.
Exactly.
So we could, all we had to do was just sell. We had a home show. So we had to sell, oh gosh, what is it? Like sponsors. So they could buy ads. So we sold ads. And the more ads you sold, the more money you made. So I just went ham on that because I didn't know these people. So I was just like, okay, how much can I actually do? I find it's just amazing now because, well, Jeremy, this is where you have this information. Like, what are the ranges at which performers are paying this year or now?
So right now, I mean, taking a look at it, breaking it down, I mean, generally speaking, world class tends to be in its own category. Open class is a little bit less. Then as you keep going down, a little bit less. But right now, this season for 2024, the average for world class was $5,422.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely insane. I mean, looking through these, there are two corps this season that are less than $5,000. We've got Genesis and the Blue Devils are the only corps that are less than $5,000 for the season. And we're actually got Boston peaked 6,000 this year. Blue Stars and Blue Coats are just $50 and a couple $100 behind that 6,000. Next season, we're easily going to be 6,000, maybe 7,000 if things keep trending the way they've been.
Oof.
I feel like this has become such a, I mean, it's not this, I'm trying to find a good way to put this without having someone come for me, but this is becoming the rich kid sport. I mean, there's no other way of really looking at that. There's a lot of promising performers that could march, but will probably can't because of this. But and on the backside of this too, and I would love for any one of you to play devil's advocate with me while we're talking tonight, but there are some resources that are in that people can go to. I don't know if I have the same ones that you all have or if you've heard of anything like this too, but Trish and I just spoke with Tom, and you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Trish?
Yeah, so Tom Maiello, A lot of people may know him. He's a former director of the Raiders and Cadets 2, a bunch of different other things that he's done in the activity. He and another friend of ours, Eric Sabach, have set up something called the 1934 Foundation, which the 1934 Foundation, as they get more into it and, more evolved, will actually serve as, their goal is to serve as a legacy to corps who are no longer with us, and we'll leave it there. And what they want to jump it off with is scholarships to people. They're all cadets alum. There's kind of in 1934, if you haven't picked up on the reference there, it's the first year of the cadets. It started with the idea of, now all of these cadet kids are going to be displaced this summer. Let's help them, move on and find new homes. And they've gotten, and you can listen to the episode Nicole and I did, it's going to be awesome. But he talked a lot about how they've gotten people who are just willing to give them money now, donations, alums, other people, philanthropic people who just want to, help kids out, help kids in the activity. Tom's also the director. He's on the board of directors of Dream Performing Arts, which my independent Winter Guard, Envy Winter Guard, is under that umbrella. And, he's done great things for my organization in its first 2 years. So their goal right now is to take some of that money that they've been, offered, these donations, and give them to kids who need to find homes in Drum Corps. So it's really, really great episode. I hope you listen to it.
I know that the 1934 Foundation is in its infancy stage, so they won't be able to, they're not, able to fund anybody this year, but hopefully next year they'll be able to do that. There's also, I don't know if any of you have heard about this, there's a foundation called Grace Note. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but go ahead and look that up. They do, and Grace Note, I believe that this is a percussion thing, isn't Grace Note a percussion term?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it really works with any kind of, like, wind would fit to percussion. Any music instruments really would work on that regard.
So that literally was the first thing that I looked at first. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is nice. And they go through a lot more in in their rundown of how people are helped, how more performers are helped to get through their season with their tour dues. There's also Our Marching Counts, which is an initiative for helping all of our Black and brown kids get through the season, not just monetarily, but any other things that they may need that isn't readily available when you go to those high schools that are maybe in the middle of nowhere. So making sure that, those resources are, there for them or either can be sent to them. Yeah. So, yeah. And I know that there's more, and I'm hoping that there's still more because I'm pretty sure it's May 12th. When are we thinking that some move-ins are happening? I'm thinking end of this month, right?
Next week.
Next week
is some of them are starting up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking a lot of these kids, honestly, you are making your list and you're like, okay, I got to pack for move-ins. I got to make sure I have this. And it's like, oh yeah. Because when you move in, correct me if I'm wrong, you got to have the rest of your dues ready.
I was just going to ask that question. I was just going to say, what do they do? What I haven't been, in the DCI world in so long.
Yeah, young
kids getting on,
I mean, at least in my experience, Jeremy, I'm sure you can probably touch on this too, but it's usually a case by case basis. I always made sure my dues were paid off before I moved in, and I always made sure I was caught up. But I know it was case by case. If you kind of went in and you said, "Hey, XYZ is happening. The money is coming at X time. I can have it paid by this date," they'll be like,
Right.
"Okay." And then they'll work with you in that regard. But typically what they'll do is they'll expect you to have at least 75 or 80% of it paid already, and then we need the rest of it. Or there's some weird ones that can happen, but I mean,
So it all depends on the
Yeah,
situation.
it's totally case-based scenarios. I've seen a
Okay.
lot of it.
Mm-hmm. I really think that in that's when I think that those discounts for marching, if you have a sibling that's going to be marching, that kind of thing, those discounts really come into play and are super helpful. So, well, also talking about this too, like we also know that we're paying for dues. We get that. You're basically you're not paying for food because you're being fed, but if you all can think of some other things that you would need money for while you're on tour. I mean, it's not like when I was marching, you just needed like a couple of quarters so you could call your parents now and then on the payphone. Yes, I am that old. Anyway, what are you whippersnappers paying for when you're on tour?
I mean, fortunately, a lot of times food is like, I think when I was marching, there were maybe like 3 or 4 times where it'd be like, hey, we're doing a long trek down to Texas. You're going to have to grab lunch while we're on the road, and they'll drop us off at like a food stop or something.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, food's pretty much entirely covered for, unless you want to like grab something on a free day when you're like totally on your own after regionals or whatever. But the biggest expenses are just like laundromats. Oh, I got to pay $2 for this laundromat to wash my clothes every few weeks.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. Like, it's compared to the tuition and compared to the cost of traveling to camps and everything before that, on tour, it's a lot less than everything kind of before that.
Okay.
$2 at a laundromat? What laundromats were they taking you to, man? Holy cow.
You're sharing your loads with someone. You are.
I never did. I couldn't do it. I hated sorting the clothes. I couldn't do it.
Did you fold your clothes? Or you just stuffed them back into your suitcase?
I folded them most of the time. Maybe the
You gotta roll them. Get that extra space in there.
Exactly. You roll it. But in Allentown, I said, forget this. I'm not doing this anymore. It's going in the bag. I got 2 weeks left. I'll figure this out when I get home.
Right.
That last stretch of tour is just a different experience.
This is when you can throw stuff away too. You're just like, that stain's not coming out.
Right.
I don't have room.
Right.
Well, I think that's awesome. Like, this is great to have this kind of, dichotomy in the marching arts world, because we have people from the DCA, now called All Ages, and then we also have, you all from DCI. So it's I feel like we have a good flow of getting different perspectives in what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So, let's see. I think we should just go straight to our in-between season edition of What Are We Doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So I feel like this in-between version of What Are We Doing is basically going to be geared towards all those people that are leaving for tour. Like, what are you doing? Like, how are we getting ready? It could be anything, actually, in between seasons. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So who wants to go first? I think that we have Austin.
Ooh, in between season, I've got I kind of have 2 of them. One for member, one for staff. The member one is, what are we doing not spending time with our families?
Ooh, yes.
We need to, you're going to be gone on the road for 3 months. You need to spend time. You need to spend time with your family. You're gonna just. I mean, you're gonna be around some of your best friends. Like, that's just the case. Like, oh, yes, spend time with your families, your pets, your friends from back home. Just make that quality time happen. That's my biggest thing. For at least, that's one thing that I made sure I tried to do as much as I could when I was marching. Just spending that quality time with people. But I know a lot of us are so caught up in trying to get those fees paid, and I totally understand that. But making that little time, that little extra time here and there, can mean all the difference. And then when you get back to see your family at your home show or after finals or whatever, it just makes it that much better. Just to kind of be like, I just did all this and all that good stuff,
That's so wholesome. I love it.
Yeah. I try, I really try to be wholesome. I do.
What about for staff? Are we going to go unwholesome now?
Not quite. What are we doing not relaxing in between WGI season and DCI season?
Mhm.
Why are we not relaxing? That I take the time. I'm not doing much. Like you can call like after WGI, my phone is off from everything marching arts for like a week at least. At least. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about next season. I don't want to talk about fall season. I'll start booking flights to go wherever after May.
Young. That's very good.
Oh my gosh, how do you? I'm jealous of you. I don't know
wish
how
you
you
could do
do
that.
it.
I can't do it.
The self-discipline to just I'm
Right.
taking the time for myself, and like it's super help. Like it's so good for you. It's like that's
Yes.
what all of us need to be more like.
But I know that
I need to be more sane.
I know that there's a lot of people though they're chomping at the bit. Some of their seasons overlap because they're chomping at the bit so much, and it's just like if you were to give yourself like a week, wouldn't it be the same? Would it be the same? I don't believe so. Okay.
I mean, giving myself that time is huge. I mean, I'm trying to get more gigs and more gigs and more gigs, and I'm trying to push for that. But
I'm
That
so
is good.
jealous of you. I can't totally shut it down. I can't. I'm so jealous.
it's just one of those things where you just need that time. And and this is the only time of the year where my seasons don't overlap. I totally understand. It makes 100% sense. Like between that, like after WGI before DCI, you have that month of just like, we're not doing too much. Like I don't go to April camps. I don't do any of that. I'm like, nope, I'm good. But then I'll start texting and calling and doing XYZ or whatever after May 1st.
All right.
Right. That's good. Ashlee, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I have one that's kind of like, well, yeah. I have one for members for fundraising for their dues. And this really happened. What are we doing selling our plasma to raise money for our dues?
See, and that's the whole
no.
I can't believe that
What?
actually happened.
It did.
Like that's so
Oh no.
and this goes right into that whole thing of this is a lot of money and like
Yes.
kids are I don't even fundraising. I'm gonna sell my plasma. Oh my gosh!
Does that
Yeah.
really happen?
No,
For the yes, a kid that went to
It
our high school.
does?
He was like the first one that went and did DCI, and he's like going to school. Like he's in college, all that stuff, working.
Yeah.
Got like has I don't know 3 majors, and like he's like, yeah, I'll just sell my plasma and raise the rest of the money. We're like,
wow.
Oh my
sorry,
god.
what?
I need a jaw drop sound. I need a jaw drop sound because my jaw is on the floor right now. How is that a thing?
It's a thing.
It's a
It's a
thing.
thing. That's that's.
I don't think that was
right
the
word.
only way that he raised his dues, but
It's
I
wild.
think it was definitely a large portion to make it worth it.
Oh no.
I mean, I know people say do what you got to do, but I think that may be a line.
Maybe that much. I don't know that part's included.
See, this is where we are,
Mm,
Nicole. This is why the work you're doing right now is so important because this is where we are right now.
And this is we need to do we need more of those foundations. Jeremy, what are we doing?
So this one's also going to be for members, and I really hope I'm not the first person that you guys are hearing this from, but please, if you are marching this summer, start working out, start getting ready now. Yesterday, a week, like your body is going to hate you if you don't get prepared. This is going to be one of the most physically demanding things in your entire life. And even if you just start running a little bit, run a half a mile just every once in a while, getting that endurance up, it's going to do you so much help in the long run.
I feel like those winter performers have a leg up on some of the other members because they've been performing and everything for the past 6 months. And, pretty much in May, but still some people want to take some time off. That's great, but still work on your endurance, like your hand. I'm not saying don't practice, but your endurance is going to be like one of the bigger things, especially if you're like an asthmatic person. Like you're going to have to really work on that and things like that. So yes, I think that is very That's very important. We had the athletic fit guy from Forte Athletics, I think it was. He was on. So I think we're going to see a lot more out of him, coming around these times.
Yeah, it seems like I've seen a lot of different like Instagram posts or whatever. So many corps are pairing with him, and I think Marching Health. They're doing so much work just to make sure these kids come out of the activity and their bodies still work. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that most of us, there's some part of our body that's been damaged by this activity that doesn't quite work all the way anymore. But like anything we can do to protect these kids so they come out and their whole life's still ahead of them, they can still do whatever they want.
I wish I didn't know when it was going to rain before anything happens, but my knees will tell me. Oh, it's just so bad. Trish, do you have a What Are We Doing?
Yes, and you just touched on it. And I get it. You have to do it. I know, especially if you're out on tour or whatever, but I was always miserable on these days. What are we doing learning dots in the rain? I get it. It's not that bad. I get it. It's me. It's a me problem. I get it. But I was always, you can ask anybody that ever marched with me, I was miserable on rainy days. And I saw pictures this weekend of people like learning dots in the rain. I'm like, oh, they must be.
You got to go back. You got to go back and review. I feel like that stuff doesn't stick in the rain.
Oh, I know.
I mean, what does?
Right.
Well, I have to say, for my What Are We Doing? I think it's a whole thing about preparedness, and not just for the members, but for I've met a couple of people who specifically just are spectators and will go to different shows. So they are literally looking at their calendar and this, how the tour is going to see who they can see, at certain points in time, because every drum corps pretty much comes through Ohio. So everyone is trying to scammer to be like, okay, but this one's going to have this drum corps in it, because even though there's a lot of shows that come through here, there are not the same drum corps that come through. So that's good because we get variety, but also this is going to be a lot more different because it's not just the DCI drum corps, but it's the all ages. I have to remind myself to say all ages instead of DCA.
I know. It's gonna be hard.
But it's gonna be the all ages drum corps that are coming through too. So what are we doing? Not getting our tickets early. Go get yourself a good seat. Okay. Yes. So we're gonna go straight from that to another part of the show that I like the most, called Gush and Go.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
This is I call this brag. Braggadocious. We can be braggadocious right now. We can go the same route if you want. Austin, we'll start with you.
Oh goodness. I spent $800 on a flight to Hawaii in July because I'm gonna go teach a band camp out there.
Ooh!
Dang.
I'm so excited.
Are we sure this is one of those April Fool's pranks sort of things?
No, it's very much May 12th, I promise. I am very excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. And
So the drill writer for Horizon, he's like one of my mentors. He's kind of like my second dad. He's like one of my mentors. He was the director of the organization for a while. He writes for a school out there called Leilahua High School, and they're actually neighbors to Mililani High School. They're just up the road. So I'm actually going to go teach the Leilahua band camp out in at back end of July. I'll probably try to pop in and say hey to Mililani if they're doing rehearsals and stuff, because the band director was choreographer when I was at Troopers in 2018. Super, super good people out there, and I mean they're paying for me to get out there. They're putting me up, get me a car. I'm like, this is great. You don't even have to pay me. I'm just going out for a week. I'll share every bit of my knowledge and then some, just to hang out.
anytime somebody talks about going to Hawaii to teach, which hasn't been that many times, but I'm just like, how do you get in that gig? That's what I want to know. I mean, all props to you because you're going to have the most fun. You'll be able to go on the beach and just be like, I had a long day.
I know. I'm so excited.
Ashlee, what are you gushing and going about?
Well, I think I'm going to gush and go on about it's like the middle of twirling season, like the height of everything. So I'm just excited to keep learning about judging and getting more experience from that.
Yeah.
It's judge-a-thon for me right now. I was in Maryland the past 2 weekends. I'll be in New Jersey next weekend, Pennsylvania the weekend after that. I don't think I have anything in June. I'll be in Ohio in July. So, yeah.
At least you get, exactly. But you make me tired, dude. Like, because you went through winter guard season with a winter guard too, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But you come from a pageantry family, so
Yes.
everyone understands and knows. So
yeah. And somehow we just found out my dad has to have a full knee replacement in like late June.
Mhm.
We're all planning to go to. Yeah, I know. It was coming at some point. But we're all planning to go to judge nationals in July, like the beginning of July. So I don't know how he's getting. I don't know how that's working yet.
So you guys were going to judge as a family?
Yeah, my mom, and my dad.
I love that. Oh goodness,
Yeah.
you guys should get T-shirts. I'm not kidding. I don't know.
Everyone loves it.
Team
because
Amos.
You can get one hotel room. We don't we share one mileage.
We like the
check.
package
Yes.
deal.
It's easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jeremy, what about you? What are you gushing and going about?
So not quite as cool as our other guests here today, but I've successfully convinced the rest of my family, my brother and my parents, to make the trek down to Indy this summer. So we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, catching all age in the morning on Saturday. If you didn't hear that, go on to DCI and buy tickets for Saturday morning to go to the all age show. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. This will actually be the first time I see all age in person. I never able to get out to the East Coast, but it's so exciting. There's so many videos on YouTube. It feels like I'm brand new to the activity again. First time getting to catch Coors live. It's so exciting.
Right? Oh, all right. Trish, what are you gushing about?
Well, I'm going to toss it back a little bit because believe it or not, here on the East Coast, the winter guard season actually just ended the first weekend of May. My high school team's been done for a few weeks, but my people have heard me go on all winter about how was I going to take this independent group to Wildwood, and which is, for those of you who don't know, it's down the Jersey Shore. So the kids get to not only compete, but they get to go on the boardwalk and do all that kind of fun stuff, rides and all that. So once I got to Wildwood the first weekend of May, that Friday, and handed in the balance due, and all of a sudden, as soon as I handed that in and got the hotel keys, I was like, okay, it happened. We did it. We raised the money. I'm giving myself an applause.
Yeah.
We raised the money. We did it. We got there. We had a really good experience.
Good.
Again, my independent team is not as competitive as my high school team. They want to keep it kind of low key. They want to keep it kind of like a rec guard type situation where it's kind of like I've defined it as this often. Like my brother played high school basketball. He's in like a rec league where a bunch of old guys get together on Saturday mornings and throw the ball around. It's kind of like what Envy is a little bit. We're going to start changing it over soon, but it's kind of how we started it out. So, I mean, we weren't terribly competitive, but the kids had two really amazing runs in prelims and finals. I mean, out of nowhere. Those of you who follow me on social know 2 weeks before I had to fill some holes. I had to do some stuff and whatever. One of my high school kids popped in and all this kind of crazy stuff happened. But Friday night after the prelims run, we were all like, okay, so it is possible to do it the way we did it. I guess having a great run is success. I guess, it doesn't matter, what the placement of the
It totally
score
is.
was. I guess just making it happen was enough. So I'm going to give myself another applause.
Nice. All right. Well, that's amazing. And I love hearing all these gush and goes. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
All right. So there's more news happening in the activity and pretty much around the world. So we're going to start with Ashlee. What's going on?
Well, if you all have been following us for the past few months, you will know that this isn't the first time that this has happened. Another band trailer was stolen from a high school, this time in Hawaii. Mauna Lua High School's marching band trailer was stolen over the holiday break. I'm not sure which holiday break. It was recent.
Okay.
So I don't know what holidays they got in May. Maybe like Easter break. The police report was filed, but they have not had any luck finding it so far. But they have started a fundraiser to buy a box truck, which would be safer and more useful to transport everything instead of a trailer. Because I kind of wish we would just do that at our schools instead of having to find someone to carry the trailer or like drive the trailer all the time.
I'm sorry, but because for a very long time there, and I don't know, Jeremy, if you and Austin and Trish, if y'all remember this, but a little bit like months ago, literally I was doing the news and talking about a trailer being stolen like every other week. And then we just had a lull in it. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Maybe they're listening to the podcast. And they're getting scared because we all know what they're doing. But no, in Hawaii, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Austin.
I have a side quest coming up in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm the trailer vigilante.
I will find it. It's on an island. How far can it go?
Thank you. Thank you. But it just makes me, I'm like, okay, where are these being put? How many locks are being put? And I'm not trying to doubt anybody for getting, for their trailer, but it's just like, that's a big thing. It's such and it's not even that big. It's bigger than that. So, gosh.
What are they doing with it when they get it? Like, do you open it and you're like, wait, what did I just take?
You know what? I wonder if their stuff was on there.
I mean, what if there was stuff in there? Like, what are you... Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
I just took marimbas and I just took, what?
Are they just hitting, like, random trailers? Or is it just like, oh, this is a band trailer. They've got a lot of instruments. That's a lot of money. We could do that. Or was it just a coincidence that it just so happens to be all these bands?
I don't know.
I genuinely think it's just, like, these some of these guys who are doing this are kind of playing it like Storage Wars, where you like, oh, you got to go find the storage locker, and then you got to like open it up. All right, what's in here? We just
We're gonna
paid
get a bed. Yeah.
we just paid $5,000 for this locker. I have no idea what's in it. Let's see what happens. That's probably what's going on, honestly. Like Paradigm Percussion, at least in the past 5 years, it sucks. They had not one but 2 trailers stolen.
Oh no. No.
The same group?
Yeah. It was within like 3 years of each other. I said, how does this even happen? They're fantastic, and they got it figured out twice. And they still go make open class finals to this day.
Right. Well, they need another place to park their trailer.
I think they have it figured out now. It hadn't happened in a couple of years. And
They need a security guard.
Yeah.
Honestly-
they need to hire a security guard for their trailer.
honestly, yeah.
Okay, Austin, I feel like you've got some news for us.
I do. So WGICon
Mm-hmm.
has finally announced their keynote speaker. This one kind of hits a little bit close to home for me. It kind of hits both of my worlds at one time because I am a cast member at Disney.
Yes.
And Deanna Marsigliese is going to be doing a keynote presentation on the art of exploration at WGICon in San Francisco on, let's see, what are the dates? September 6th through the 8th.
Yeah.
Helps that she's a San Francisco local, but she is an animator at Pixar,
She
something
worked
like
on
that.
some things, yeah.
She worked on a lot of things. I'm like
Yeah.
kind of reading her bio. She worked on probably one of my favorite Pixar movies, Soul.
Oh,
She
mine
worked
too.
on Onward, Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, the short, the Bow short.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also done Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur. She's did sketch artist lead for Luca too, and she's done some stuff for Inside Out too, which is coming out this year. But she's gonna be doing a keynote on the art of exploration and like what we can do to like be more creative in our shows and try to kind of push how can we push the boundaries a little bit more. And I kind of want to go to WGICon now, even though it's like in the middle of fall season. Do I think it's
I feel like this is for WGICon. I feel like this is a great way to bring a different perspective and to look at things. Because even though like a lot of we as in people in the field of teaching, Winter Guard, wins, everyone are trying to create the next big thing or be innovative on the next big thing. It's kind of hard to find out where to get that from instead of like looking at someone else's creativity and then like building upon that. Does that make sense? It's like
Yeah,
you're
it
not
does.
having your own thing. But I think it's great that they're bringing in someone who is not of the activity. And
right, super awesome. Like I'm looking at all the other keynote speakers and it's a lot of like kind of our own. Like I know the Harloffs are doing something about doing a quality of life thing. Joey Montes is doing something, one of ours. Joey's going to be doing something there too. I think it's called It Takes a Village. But I've kind of seen the promotional material and it all looks, I mean, it looks like a really really good place for a lot of those younger budding designers like myself who can go and learn a lot in a very short amount of time and potentially not make as many mistakes as those who have come before them.
what's the date of WGICon again?
September 6th through the 8th. It is in San Francisco. I don't know exactly where it is in San Francisco, but it's says it's at the San Francisco Marquis Hotel is where they're. Let's see. Yeah, San Francisco Marquis Hotel is where they're doing the block room for it. But I don't know if it's actually at that hotel.
Okay. If you go to WGI.org, it is on there and you can get tickets to go. Okay. Trish, what do you
Okay,
have for us?
keep it at WGI. Anybody who is a director that has entered a group in a WGI event, you have definitely dealt with Vicky Dish. She will be leaving WGI. She put out a statement saying that she and her husband have to move closer to family that need them. So we totally support that. So next year, when we submit our documents and get them returned that they're incorrect, they will be coming from Emma Boyce this year. So we thank Vicky for everything she's done for us as participants.
Yeah.
And we wish her and her family well and welcome Emma Boyce.
Right. How long was Vicky with WGI?
I don't know how many years, but she's been there a while.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, we wish her the best of luck, and we are excited for Emma to be stepping in.
Yeah.
So the news that I have is coming from, and I'm saying this because I want to make sure that I get enough practice in saying it, but it's from the All Ages Corps, formerly known as DCA. And on the on the DCI page, they have a list of them. And honestly, this is probably not all of them, but I just wanted to run down some of them because we're going to have a good amount of all age cores to look at, to watch, to fangirl guy, whatever, over. It's going to be great. So, and I have some information about some spots that are still open too. So with Bushwhackers, they just did their last round of guard auditions this past weekend. Cincinnati Tradition in my yeah.
I'm a Bush Guard alum. That's why I had to give it an applause.
Cincinnati Traditions in my backyard. Columbus Saints is not actually in my backyard, but up the street a little bit. Fusion Core, they still have guard spots open, and they do have an immediate opening for trumpet and cymbals. The gBuccaneers, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them, but they have a parade corps and they also have a concert corps. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's two different ways to be, involved in there. Hawthorne Caballeros, Hurricanes, Skyliners, Sunrisers, they have spots open for bass drum, trumpet, vibraphone, and timpani. And then we have the White Sabers from upstate New York. I know that I'm missing some, but I mean, that alone, just go ahead, Jeremy. I see you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to hop in real quick. Atlanta CV from Atlanta, Georgia, as well as Reading Buccaneers out east. There's so many open spots for all age, and honestly, if my body agreed with it, I would have signed up as soon as they announced it. But I don't think that's going to be happening.
I'll watch them, and
Yeah.
no, I can't.
I'll support them from the stands. I won't be able to limp on the field.
What a great opportunity, though. But what a great opportunity for somebody who kind of missed the DCI World or Open boat and, just wants to perform, not only have a great experience, but perform at Indy. I mean, think that's a game changer this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what a
really
great
awesome.
opportunity. Hop in there if you can.
I know that when after I aged out, it was great to be one in upstate New York because I had 3 different guards I could choose from, or corps I could choose from. And yeah, I got that bug out. My body can't do it. So we're really good. Does anyone have a drum corps that they are like super hyped to see this summer?
Absolutely, I do. I'm a Troopers alumni. I love my Troopers. They are.
You know what? I'm a fangirl over that slow walk that the drum major does, and I'm just like, I want to watch you walk to the truck like that.
And I want to see, and I'm really excited to see what Chris McCarthy and the new guard staff are going to do there. I'm really super excited. Super excited to see.
I love those Origins guys, and they're fantastic. And I really hope that's the one. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say this as an alum. That's been the revolving door at the Troopers as long as I've been around as a member. Yeah, I don't think there's been a color guard staff that stayed 3. I don't think there's been a color guard staff that stayed more than 2 years, and it sucks.
I know those guys at Origins because I helped start Origins. So yeah, I think they're gonna do a great job. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I've heard nothing but great things. I was such a fangirl over their show for at WGI this year, and I was like, oh my god, this is a visual masterpiece, absolute masterpiece from staging. I was like, this is gorgeous. So I'm hoping that they get to stick around for forever and ever, because that's kind of been that revolving door at Troopers, and the Troopers have a history of a really, really good guard back in the 60s and 70s, of course. But that's what they were known for, that in circles, and the color guard was always it. But the slow walk thing, yes, the sunburst, that's yes. But the slow walk thing, there's history behind that. Everyone used to do it.
Oh, I see. Anytime I see it, I'm like, I'm gonna watch you go to the truck. You're gonna do that to the truck.
Way back in the VFW days, that was the thing. It was always kind of like a competition. Who could walk the slowest to retreat? That was always a thing. And then everyone kind of got away from it, except for the Troopers. We said we are keeping this tradition. It is happening. They only really, I mean, it only happens at like regionals now, because that's the only time a drum major retreat happens, which kind of sucks.
Oh, anybody else really excited to see another corps this summer?
Austin stole mine. I'm such a big Troopers fan. Every year they always do a Wild West show, but every year it's still different. They every year they come up with something unique, and it blows my mind every year. But I'm gonna have to go with Santa Clara Vanguard. Yes, Santa Clara Vanguard. Like, they were off for a year. What are they going to do this year? Are they going to, they teased on April 1st, hey, it's 2024. Is it a Scheherazade Part 3? Question mark. I know they were teasing it. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen. But, who knows? They could, yeah, both of them, they were so good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It'll be we can see them pop out and just sit in comfortable 6th place, or they could pop out and just metal and blow everyone away. I'm just so excited because I have no idea what they've been working on, what their shows, anything about that. I'm so excited to see what they announce.
Oh wow. Okay. Ashlee, do you have one?
I don't think I have any one in particular. I just love seeing all the different shows, because I'm gonna be honest, because my summer is pretty crazy busy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually keep up with it and look at the shows until the last couple weeks, until Allentown and Indy.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. I never see the beginning product, which I really should. But yeah, I just love seeing the end product and seeing everything all at once come together.
I do. I mean, honestly, I would like to see at the very beginning and then nothing, and then at the end, because that show is changing every 2 days. Trish, who are you looking forward to seeing?
I am a huge Carolina Crown fan, year in, year out, and I can't wait to see them.
Oh, you just said so many good ones.
I know.
I mean, oh, that's right, because you're from North Carolina, right? Oh.
Oh, yay.
That's amazing.
Hey.
I mean, I really have just a soft spot in my heart for a lot of different corps, but there is something about Phantom's horn line in the last 2 years, and I know I'm a color guard person, but they just sound great. They do sound great. And I know that there was a little thing going on, it's not a train, it's the horn line. So yeah. But they sound great. I knew last year I really like the way they sound. I love a good rising up from what you're doing, getting better every year type deal, and I feel like that's what Phantom's doing.
Yeah, they're finally getting better at that whole maintaining our identity while doing the new fresh thing. That's what a lot of drum corps have kind of struggled with after 2016. A lot of those corps with a lot of history, Phantom, Scouts have struggled with it too. They're kind of finding their way. Cavaliers have even struggled. Troopers struggled with it, and a lot of those drum corps are starting to figure it out, maintaining their character and everything that they do, and their traditions, identity. That's the word I was looking for, while pushing the envelope into something new and modern.
Right. I think, and honestly too, I have to say this, and I'm not saying I have to say this because I'm obligated, but I'm actually really excited because I'm on tour with Academy this summer. So I am super happy and excited to have everyone see what's coming out of that. But I will tell you this, that the guard staff is brand new to that organization, and there's a couple more staff members and sections that are brand new to the organization. So it's been a really, really good like melding of the minds right now. So we're really happy to see it, and I'm going to be happy to see it. And yes, so yay. Well, that was great for y'all and for me and for all of our listeners. I just want to thank everyone for a great rehearsal this week. Thanks to our hosts, Austin, Ashlee, Trish, and Jeremy. One more thing, please don't forget, we have our YouTube channel now that has so many of our interviews that are coming out in the full edition. So go and subscribe so you don't miss out on those. So before you close out of your podcast listening app, 1, go subscribe. 2, write us a review. Who's your favorite host? Who's your favorite person that's on here? Let us know, and let us know why. Share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.